showed clearly how the tornado had cut a swathe of destruction 500 yards wide and 7 miles long.
At the center of all the action,
The
a
stunned,
star
burning
smaller than our
residents
sun,
began to rebuild their
still
homes.
in its
An expert
infancy.
flew in from America to make
Any
sense
life
of it.
in this solar system would be
Martian,
primitive at
tornadoes and
best.
specialities.
I do is hunt down tornadoes. We've seen over 175 tornadoes in the last 26 years.
There must be more mature solar systems out
Marshall's
here.
unrivaled knowledge of tornadoes,
But finding them is
one
like
of the
looking for a
deadliest
needle
forces
in a
of nature,
cosmic haystack.
comes from years spent in America's tornado Here, tornadoes with winds up to 300 miles per hour can rip
20
apart
light
anything
years
that
from
lies
Earth.
in their path. These huge storms are formed
Star
when warm,
Gliese
moist air from the
581.
south collides with cold, dry air from the Rocky Mountains and are triggered like giant thunderstorms.
It's about the same age as our sun.
Homes and even city blocks have been annihilated, and hundreds of lives are lost every year.
This planet is just the right distance from
Birmingham
its
tornado
sun.
had been spawned in the same way as
Any
its
closer
American
and water would boil away. Any further,
bring up from the
it
south,
would freeze.
collided with a cold front from the north.
Ideal conditions for life to emerge.
These ingredients all came together, and the result was a swirling vortex of wind and rain.
And if a comet has struck, delivering water and organic materials,
Marshall would use the
then life,
Fujita to assess
complex
the
beings like us, even civilizations like our own,
can smash
could be
chimneys
down
and
there
TVs,
right now.
while the top of the range F5 can rip entire buildings apart.
They could be tuning into our TV signals, watching shows from 20 years ago.
On the streets of Birmingham, Marshall had to work like a detective using the physical evidence that tornado
Until we devise a way of
What I'm trying
communicating
to figure
over
out
these
is
vast
how this
distances,
car ended up in this position.
all we can do is
And what I
speculate.
see on the hood here is a
Us and them,
line
living
of
parallel
bricks.
lives,
I believe that what happened
unaware
is this
of
car
each other's
actually rolled across this
existence.
wall and tumbled across into this position here, striking the wall in between.
Unless life has come and
Well, knowing
gone,
what the wind tunnel studies have shown on cars, I believe it takes about 100-mile-an-hour wind. And we know that the Bladenpool Road here was actually in the core of the tornado, winds out of the southeast, which is actually the
that's the
strongest
problem
side.
with comets. They're creators
Several
and
years off
destroyers,
the cars were unique.
as
Lots
the
of trees
dinosaurs
down.
found out the
Basically,
hard
what I'm
way.
seeing here, the Birmingham tornado would be...
This is the needle in the cosmic haystack, the closest we've come to a habitable solar system like our
in the
own,
British city,
but it's a chance encounter.
In a matter of
There could be
minutes,
hundreds,
1,000
millions
houses
more
down,
solar systems like this
112
out there,
trees ripped off, and
or
90
none at
cars
all.
were smashed.
Some of the atmosphere on this planet, Bellerophon, is being boiled away by its nearby star.
For Stuart Robinson, it was the frightening shape of things to come.
From Earth, we can't see planets this far out. They're obscured by the brilliance of their neighboring stars. But the planets have a minute gravitational pull on those stars. Measure
The
these tiny
tornado seems
movements.
yet
We
another
can
sign
prove they
that Britain's
exist.
weather is changing. Perhaps our green and pleasant land is becoming wetter.
That's how we tracked down Bellerophon in the 1990s.
But at the end of
Hundreds of
July,
other
it would
distant
be our
planets.
European neighbours who suffered even worse extremes.
65 light years from Earth.
2005, the hottest year.
Turn on your TV here and you pick up Hitler's Berlin Olympics.
In Portugal, a heat wave followed by unrelenting drought set off huge forest fires. Hundreds of thousands of acres of forest and farmland were destroyed by out-of-control inferno.
Twin stars of
15
alcohol,
people died.
known to the ancients as the demon star, Earth it appears to blink as one star passes across the other.
Forest fires have happened
Up
many
close,
times
it's
before
even
in
stranger.
But this
One
year,
star is being
desperate
sucked
firefighters
towards the other.
terrified local residents said they'd seen nothing like these enormous blazes in their fiction.
Almost 100 light years from home, faint whispers from one of the first ever radio broadcasts.
They appear as glowing red beams scattered right across a sudden birth, a very different kind of emergency was unfolding in the north.
From here on out, it's as if the Earth never existed. Feels like a lifetime since we stood on that beach, looking up at the sky, wondering where and how we fit in. We've learned one thing for sure. The universe is too bizarre, too startling, for us to guess what lies ahead.
At the end of
Inside our galaxy is the Milky Way.
Central
Pinpricks of light that have inspired 1,001 tales. The Seven Sisters, daughters of the ancient Greek god Atlas, transformed into stars to comfort their father as he held the heavens on his shoulders.
many thousands
And this giant, Betelgeuse, brightest and biggest star we've seen so far, 600 times wider than our sun.
Road and rail transport was severely disrupted. There was widespread chaos.
This,
More than 40
it's not a star, not a planet,
Like the fires in Portugal,
not like anything
summer
we've
flooding
seen.
has happened before, but in 2005 it was unusually severe. Scientist Simon Boxall traveled to one
Ghostly
of the
specter more than 1,300 light years from Earth, Orion's dark cloud. Dust and gas shrouding us. There, deep inside,
And this summer,
a light
according to Boxall,
pulling the dust
is
and
that as
gas
temperatures
towards
rose to
it,
record
heating up,
levels in the south,
merging into a
wet
ball
air
of burning hot
flew
gas,
through the Alps.
like a star,
Once this water
like our
air
sun,
across the mountains,
in miniature.
it fell as heavy rain into Switzerland's lakes.
Inside, it's millions of degrees. So hot it's beginning to trigger nuclear reactions, the kind that keep our sun shining, making energy, radiation, light. A star
That's a normal process.
is being born.
All lakes overflow into rivers. But in modern Europe, there's a problem. Many rivers have been re-engineered, and bends and meanders have been straightened. According to Boxall, instead of making rivers safer, it makes them easier.
Orion's dark cloud is a vast star factory. We're witnessing the birth of the future universe. We've come to expect destruction, but this is one of the universe's greatest acts of creation. Star birth.
One of the city's
This
worst hit by
doesn't
the
look
flood
right.
is the Swiss capital Bern, which sits beside the River Arno. At the end of July, the river surged to a critical level, and floodwater rushed into the old city district.
Jets of gas exploding out with tremendous force. blasting dust and gas out for millions of miles.
Outside on the river, and so slowly like the big cars. So you see the water's coming, and I just thought, oh well, people slowly should put their cars
It's
away.
unbelievably violent
Around 11 o'clock
and creative.
to its noon, they told me, you have to leave the house.
Nebula.
Within 2
Vast,
hours, it
glowing
reached a height
clouds of gas hanging in space.
So a lot of businesses were
With no wind out here, they'll take thousands of years to disperse.
The floods took Bern.
They seem to be forming a vast stellar sculpture.
Swiss emergency services were
Nature
stretched
is
to the
more
limit,
than a
rescuing
scientist,
stranded citizens.
an engineer. It's an artist on the grandest of scales.
2 weeks to receive. 4 months after the flood, Simon Boxall came to Bern to find
And
out
this
what had gone wrong.
is a masterpiece.
By now, the Swiss had efficiently tidied away most signs of the catastrophe that had overwhelmed their city.
Stars are born,
Only some discreet
grow up,
new pasture
and then,
how hard
then what? Do they die? Do they slip quietly into the night or go out with a bang?
A short distance upstream, the River Arno has been extensively straightened.
Somewhere between here and the
So
edge
the
of the
summer's
universe
heavy rain turned
lies
the
the
rivers
answer.
into a battering ram. Like a tsunami, the torrent of water picked up trees and debris, which blocked Bern's
Luminous clouds suspended in space, encircling what was once a star like our own sun. All that's left of it are these brightly colored gases, elements formed by nuclear reactions deep inside, released into space when it's dead. Green and violet, hydrogen and helium, the raw materials of the universe. Red and blue, nitrogen and oxygen, the building blocks of life on Earth.
The chain of events that led to such severe European floods
For us to
began
live,
with heavy rain.
stars like this had to
The disaster
die.
that followed had as much to do with human management as
Every atom in our body was produced by nuclear fusion. In stars that died long before the Earth was even born.
This pattern was to be repeated on a much
We are
more
all the stuff of
catastrophic
stars.
scale on the other side of the Atlantic.
Our family tree begins here.
At the same time the rivers burst their banks in Europe, a storm was brewing over the Atlantic Ocean. This one was destined to kill more than
At its
1,200
heart,
Americans and
the
wreck
ghost of a star.
For this tropical storm
white dwarf.
would become Hurricane
White,
Katrina.
hot,
Almost ready.
small, but unbelievably
Reality
dense.
takes you of where you are.
In the star's dying moments, its atoms fused and squeezed together, making it so dense that just a teaspoon of this white dwarf would weigh
By the summer,
1 ton.
the year had seen the worst natural disaster for 500 years. Record-breaking temperatures. and
It's a
frequent
chilling premonition of our sun's fate.
Then in August,
6 billion
came
years
the
from
most
now, it'll become a
destructive
white
storm in
dwarf.
American history.
Its death will herald the end of life on
On
Earth.
August the 24th, the National Hurricane Center
Makes you
in
wonder
Florida
how many
spun
other
its
worlds have
hurricane
come and
hunter
gone.
aircraft.
Celestial stories left untold. Lost forever.
Their mission to fly into the heart of a powerful new storm that was building
But
over
the greatest
Bahamas.
story of them all is still to be told.
It was the 11th in a busy season and had been given
We must
the
go
name
back through time to the very first chapter to learn how the universe
Like all
began.
tropical storms, Katrina was powered by the surface of the ocean. Warm, moist air
Scattered
was sucked
remains
high into
of
the
a dead
atmosphere,
star.
then sent speeding back down
Crab
to
Nebula.
create an immense whirlpool of supercharged wind and rain.
6,000 light years from home, deep inside a stellar graveyard.
The hurricane hunters carried a sophisticated
We
arm
learned
of
so
instruments
much,
and sensors.
seen things we'd never
These
have
sonars
believed
dropped
possible.
directly into the storm to measure wind speed and
Now
air
sights
pressure.
like this, wonders once beyond imagination, we've taken our stride.
The hunters approach their quarry at 41,000 feet.
We're ready to
Cameras
face
record
whatever lies ahead, determined to reach the edge of the universe.
As they sped
This
through
is the calm
Katrina's
after the
turbulent
storm.
outer edges, the
After a
scientists were
massive
astonished
explosion,
that
a
the huge storm
supernova
had already formed
that turned the star into dust and
an
gas.
30-mile-wide funnel of ice and
The eye of the storm. A spinning, pulsating star.
As the
A
streams of data
pulsar.
were being fed back to supercomputers at the Hurricane Center in Florida, Katrina's wind speeds
Gravity has
topped the
squeezed the
critical
giant
limit of
star's
74
core
miles
down to
per hour.
this.
So on August the 25th, she was promoted to hurricane
It's
status.
just 12 miles across, unimaginably dense. One
Hours
pinhead
later,
of this
Katrina
weight
hit the Florida
hundreds,
coast as a
maybe
Category 1
millions
hurricane.
of tons. As it shrank like a figure skater spinning on the spot, arms outstretched, then pulling them in, it began to spin faster.
The winds are very strong, the sand is blowing.
Two beams of light, energy, radiation, spinning 30 times a second, powering the huge cloud of dust and gas. There's so much radiation here, more even than on the sun. That was easily the deadliest thing we've encountered so far. Once it would have terrified us.
Across Florida,
Now we realize that without the dangers, there'd be no
but over
wonders.
land, she was deprived of the energy of the ocean.
Without the nightmares, there'd be no dreams.
But then Katrina crossed into the Gulf of Mexico and was back in the ocean. Ira Van Heerden, America's leading hurricane expert,
Getting a strange sensation.
He knew that
The feeling as though there's something bad out here.
and turned to a monster.
A malevolent presence.
Katrina then came into
One thing we didn't want to encounter.
water temperature.
Possibly black. Blotting out the stars behind it. They're staring into the face of extinction.
The Category 5
Remains of a giant star.
of 100 atomic bombs.
A black hole.
Katrina headed straight towards the American Gulf Coast.
Far denser than a pulsar. And impossible to resist. Its gravity is so intense not even light
raced
can
from
escape.
Florida to the Gulf to record Katrina's arrival. He was in the city of Gulfport as the hurricane moved in.
This asteroid, it's a lump of solid rock. It's actually stretching, being dragged towards the gaping hole. Inside, there's no matter as we know it. No time, no space. All the rules of physics collapse. The asteroid is gone. Nobody really knows where. This is the edge of human understanding. There could be millions of black
Hurricanes
holes
pack a double
creeping around
punch.
our galaxy.
They bring severe
Or perhaps
winds.
the all the
Their
stars
most
in the
deadly
sky.
ingredient is water.
But we wouldn't see them
90% of hurricane deaths.
until it was too late.
What happens is that the hurricane presses down to the surface of the ocean,
Like this
forcing
star,
water to rise,
spiraling,
naturally high and
disappearing down an invisible
the
sinkhole.
storm center.
Who's to say we don't live inside a vast black hole? That the whole universe isn't inside one right now, inside another universe. Think about it for too long and your mind reels.
Tice was at a Gulfport motel
Sometimes it feels like the more we see,
waves more than
the less
20
we
feet high
know.
rushed in round.
And we're still in our own galaxy, the Milky Way. The vastness of the universe beyond still lies ahead. The wonders, the dangers, the secrets, they're out there, waiting to be discovered.
This lady was in one of the first floor rooms, and I had alerted these Navy guys to it, and she wouldn't pass away. She didn't just move to save her, but she was trapped in a room already. She didn't open
7,000 light years from home.
Katrina started by trashing the
It's as though we're in a forest thick with trees, each so beautiful, so fascinating, it's impossible to look beyond, to see the bigger picture. We have to find a way through it, to reach the clearing at the galaxy's edge. But faced with sights like this, it's hard to lose. Colossal, glowing cloud, topped by these great towers of dust, pillars of creation, like a gateway into the unknown. A star factory packed with embryonic star systems, each larger than our solar system.
Katrina's storm surge was so powerful it turned the storm chasers into the core. They had to find safety fast.
Here we are on the fourth floor here.
We have to resist its signs
The last one was building.
tear ourselves away, to carry on towards the edge of the galaxy. Dazzled by the Milky Way's beauty, we've been blinded to its terrors and strayed into a cosmic minefield. Like an explosion in slow motion. A massive star, millions of times brighter than our
The
sun.
scientists plotting Katrina's path
It's going into
feel the direct and devastating hit to the city.
The fuel that sustains it is running out. The nuclear reaction's power is winding down. We're watching its death throes.
Even so, there was no escaping Katrina's enormous power. The new orleans turned out to be uniquely awkward. Sergeant was one of the first federal officers on the spot when Katrina struck. He knew the city and its weaknesses.
An even bigger, dangerously unstable star. But this one's about to explode. And when a star this big dies, it's 100 times more violent than a supernova.
As Katrina swept past,
We've stumbled into the most violent star death of all. A hypernova.
barriers leveled. They were supposed to protect the city.
The cores collapsed. It's becoming a black hole.
Fire surged to the low-lying eastern districts. This is where
And that's the shock wave surging through the stars to repeat its outer layers into space. Deadly hypernovas, frozen comets, scorched planets, white dwarfs, red giants.
The electricity
fit in? Here's our answer. Civilizations past and present, everyone that's ever lived. The smallest bug, the highest mountain, all of it invisible, not even a tiny speck. Our home is a minor, orbiting an insignificant star. If it disappeared right now, who would even notice? And yet, so far we've found nowhere else we would rather live, nowhere we could live. It's only now, far from home, that we're beginning to truly appreciate it.
There were hundreds of other stars facing the same predicament as
Hundreds of thousands of them.
The bowl of New Orleans rapidly filled.
Surely
On the second day, 75% of the
must
city
be
was
capable of
underwater,
supporting
full of desperate survivors. Altogether, more than 1,300 people died, and hundreds of thousands were homeless. The majority of them were poor. The American government was slow to respond to their plight.
Maybe here in this swarm of stars, the Great Cluster. Back in the 1970s, astronomers sent a message in this direction, detailing the structure of our DNA and our solar system's location. But the message won't arrive here for another 25,000 years. We haven't found alien life yet, but neither have we found any reason to believe it isn't out there, somewhere. There's an equation devised to estimate the number of other advanced civilizations. The result is startling. There could be millions of civilizations just in our own galaxy.
And what's really happening today. And this woman went to the hospital so would to be saved. And somehow she ended up on an interstate surrounded by a couple of thousand people being pushed. No medical attention anywhere.
Everything we've seen so far is inside the Milky Way. Now we're ready to leave our home galaxy, to enter intergalactic space. Here's our chance to solve the ultimate mystery and experience the moment of creation. Beyond the Milky Way, through the vast expanse between the galaxies, against all the odds, we've made it to intergalactic space.
You can see on this tour right here on these houses how high the water was. This house right here,
There's no horizon in sight. Even the closest galaxies are hundreds of thousands of light years away. The remains of galaxies ripped apart by the Milky Way's huge gravitational pull, scattered around
After the flood,
in a few.
and the National Guard was called in. Now New Orleans really did need the rules of
This is as close as the universe gets to a perfect reactor. But even this isn't totally empty. There are thin wisps of gas, fine traces of
It
dust,
could have been much worse.
and something
The
else.
New Orleans escaped the very worst of Katrina's power. eye of the storm
So mysterious we can't see it, feel it, taste it, touch it, or even measure it.
There's a hurricane spirit in the county.
It's so common. It could make up over 90% of all the matter in the universe.
Just after 6,
If dark matter does exist, it means there's no such thing as empty space. Even out here, we're surrounded by matter. We think it exists because of its apparent pull into galaxies, like this one, the large Magellanic Cloud.
Katrina was now at maximum power, and the storm
A 6 billion year journey in today's fastest spacecraft, 160,000 light years from the Milky Way at the edge of its gravitational range. This galaxy should spin off into space, but something is holding it here, something invisible, powerful. Dark matter. Stars. Clusters of stars. Nebulae. It's a vast astronomical treasure trove. Look at this. It's like a string of gleaming pearls. It's a fireball expanding out from what must have been a massive explosion. A supernova.
Katrina was beyond anything I ever experienced.
So bright that light from the explosion reached Earth 20 years ago. It was visible to the naked eye. And so violent, it triggered a string of nuclear reactions, forcing atoms together, creating new elements. Gold, silver, platinum, blasting them out into space. Gold in the ring on your finger is forged in a massive supernova like this, trillions of miles away, billions of years ago. Before we left home, the universe seemed separate. Something out there in the sky. But now we know better. We are the universe, and it is within us. It's comforting to remember as we venture through this abyss.
So you can see how massive
Further and further. Faster and faster. The galaxy, 2.5 million light years away. It's racing through space. Everything blown apart like shrapnel in an explosion. We're seeing this galaxy as it was when our ape-like ancestors first walked on the African plains.
You'll see that the cloth is missing its little branches. What that represents is zebras that were in surge, moving past those trees.
Further through space, and further back in time. This doesn't look right. A whole galaxy spinning. The only thing large enough to cause an explosion on this scale is another galaxy. It looks like the end of the world. This galaxy will die. It will be reborn. A new shape. Perhaps even new stars. As dust and gas collide, creating friction, shock waves, triggering the birth of stars.
After Katrina, the hurricanes kept on coming. Rita became the second Category 5 of the season.
There's order in this chaos. A pattern behind the infinite variety. An endless cycle of birth and death. Creation and destruction. It's a pattern woven through the vast fabric of space that binds each of these galaxies.
Forces deep beneath the surface of Earth.
There are billions of galaxies, each with billions, even trillions of stars. all the beaches of Earth. Finally beginning to see the big picture. And it's grander than we ever imagined.
Early on the morning of Saturday, the 8th of October,
This galaxy, the huge Pinwheel galaxy, is so far from Earth that if we send a message home now, it will take 27 million years to get there. Who knows whether our species, our planet, will still be around to receive it.
to the Earth's crust, slipped and violently shook the earth. This mobile phone footage shows the moment the earthquake hit his lungs, when his lungs collapsed.
Travel on, back through time. Past the point where the dinosaurs were wiped out.
Major earthquake of the year.
Past the moment where the first creatures crawled onto land. Light years from home, closing in on the edge of the universe, going back to the beginning of time. This isn't a galaxy. It's brighter than 100 galaxies. A blinding beam of energy surging from trillions of lights. Something this big, this bright, must be incredibly powerful. Experience tells us out here, power equals danger. Looks like a quasar, the deadliest thing in the universe. Our journey could be over.
2 days after the earthquake, filmmaker Jeff McIntyre to document
The deadliest, most powerful thing in the universe. Quasar.
as he made his
A
way
swirling cauldron of superheated gas.
almost every house and business smashed to pieces. Walls had collapsed, often killing entire families. The earthquake took place in
This beast is a part of darkness.
Here, many
A supermassive black hole as heavy as a billion
One of the
suns.
worst hit was Babbitt. It was only 3 miles from the epicenter.
It's ripping apart whole stars, devouring them
In just 2 minutes on October the
until they're
8th,
nothing,
a violent shaking of
lost
the earth
forever
destroyed
from the visible universe.
The human race was lost.
I met one woman a couple of days ago. She said to me that when the earthquake struck, she said the ground was shaking up and down violently.
We think,
and the building
we
was
hope,
bouncing up and
we
down
pray
like the ground
we've seen the
was
worst the universe can throw at us.
really hard to imagine.
But no one can know what lies ahead.
Destruction happening in a matter of seconds. The magnitude of this disaster is so great that about 70% of the population are dead and buried in the rubble here.
We'll need to go further, go faster. 8 billion light years from home. More galaxies. But these look different. Ragged, small, close together. We're so far back in time,
This is a frequent sight.
we're seeing these
People's
galaxies
digging
as they
for
were
corpses of
before
their
the
loved
Earth was
ones with
born.
their bare hands, because there is no machinery
They're still
available.
young,
It's going to take
still
months.
growing.
There are thousands and thousands of corpses buried under all of the
Getting
buildings
close
all
to
over the
where
town.
and how it all began.
The terrible job of excavating the dead was taking place day after day in cities all along the fault line.
Look at the galaxies now. They're more like primitive plankton, floating in a vast dark ocean. Clouds of dust and gas, dancing, twirling, merging to make embryonic galaxies.
Underneath every single building was found children,
lies in the foothills of the Himalayas.
They're disappearing.
A region with a long history of violent earthquakes.
They've gone back before the stars were born.
Plates smashed together. Put simply,
into a cosmic
shoving
dark
its way
age.
northwards against the rest of Earth.
And before that, light, the afterglow from the massive explosion that created the known universe.
The earthquake measured 7.6 on the Richter scale. That means it was a major earthquake, but thousands of times weaker than the one that caused the Boxing Day tsunami. So how and why has this relatively modest earthquake caused such widespread destruction?
We've made it.
And even more important,
The edge of the universe.
Slip again, and if so, when?
80 billion trillion miles from
Roger
home.
Billings, an expert on Himalayan
13.5 billion years ago.
headed for the stricken region.
The very instant of the Big Bang, the most violent, most creative moment in history. Everything that's ever happened follows from this moment.
4 years ago, Billings set up a network of monetary science and economics.
Every culture has followed
Its
it.
own GPS device, which uses satellites to precisely
We still don't
record
know
position
what
of
sparked this act of creation, or why. This is where our journey ends, and the universe begins.
What happens in an earthquake is that squeezing is suddenly released. It's not 2 years ago, but 200 or 500 or 1,000 years of squeezing. And ReMed are going to tell us precisely what happens.
An infinitely hot, small, dense point erupts.
Billings' results reveal why a 7.6 earthquake was so destructive. Billions of tons of rock were thrown upwards more than 6 feet in just 3 seconds.
Creating space,
So the earthquake's
time,
power was released
matter.
very fast.
Our
and
universe
in a
itself.
focused area near the epicenter. That's why
First, it's the
towns like
size of a
Balakot
subatomic particle. The tiniest fraction of a second later, it's big enough to hold in the palm of your hand. Moments later, it's the size of the Earth.
Mountain on the other side went down, and the accelerations were just too much for the buildings. They may have exceeded the force of gravity, which basically allows things to stay on the ground.
Today, the light from the Big Bang is still spreading out.
But the earthquake alone
hear it
cannot
as a
explain
radio
the tragedy
hiss.
of Balakot. On October the 8th, the majority of its buildings
See it.
collapsed with lethal results.
Television static.
Billings set out to discover why, and the clues were plain to see in the wreckage. Most buildings are concrete framed with thick, heavy roof slabs supported by straight pillars.
All the wonders we've seen on our journey are sparks flying out from the Big Bang. Galaxies, stars, planets, all cosmic debris. We go forward through time, riding the blast
Very
until we reach another cooling cinder swirling in the afterglow of the Big
The
Bang.
most tragic consequences of these building techniques happened in schools like this one. According to UNICEF,
We're back where we started.
for 1/3 of deaths in Kashmir. Most of them
Only now
in classrooms.
can we really know it.
No provision had been made
More
for
fragile than we ever imagined. Destined to die, swallowed by a dying sun.
School children were buried.
But we shouldn't despair. We should rejoice. We've managed to experience the wonders of the universe. We should celebrate our achievements and enjoy our moment in the sun.